Welcome to Fluent by Story. Today, we bring you a powerful English learning story titled, The Wise Old Owl. In this story, you'll explore a magical forest filled with curious creatures, life lessons, and the gentle wisdom of an old owl. This story will help you build fluency, improve vocabulary, and practice listening and speaking in English naturally. So, listen carefully, shadow what you hear, and enjoy the story. In a peaceful forest known as Whispering Woods, where ancient trees stood like giants and the air smelled of pine and earth, there lived a wise old owl named Orwin, whose feathers were as silver as the moonlight. Orwin had watched over the forest for more than 100 years and was known by all animals as the silent guardian of knowledge. He lived alone in the tallest oak tree that stood at the center of the forest like a watchtower. The creatures of the woods often said, "The owl doesn't speak often, but when he does, you'd better listen." And this saying held deep meaning for every creature, from the smallest ant to the strongest bear. One morning, the stillness of the dawn was broken by the frantic scampering of a young squirrel named Rollo, who came rushing up the tree in panic, calling, "Wise owl, someone has stolen my winter nuts." Orwin opened his large golden eyes and turned his head slowly to face the flustered squirrel, blinking thoughtfully before replying, "Tell me, little one, did you hide them well?" Rollo scratched his head nervously and said he had buried them near the river roots, but now they were gone. With a soft flutter of wings, Orwin glided down and walked alongside the squirrel to the spot, asking questions not to accuse, but to help Rollo think. As they arrived, Rollo's friend, Nibble the chipmunk, showed up too, saying he hadn't taken anything but had overheard crows near the river the night before. Orwin listened silently, and after moments of quiet thought, he suggested they follow the trail of small claw marks along the mud. As they walked deeper into the forest, they came upon the Crow sisters, who admitted to finding the stash but thought it had been abandoned. Orwin taught Rollo the importance of marking his spots clearly and forgiving mistakes when there's no bad intent. The nuts were returned, and Rollo learned to plan better and be kind in judgment. Days passed, and Orwin remained in his tree, thinking, observing, listening. One day, a quarrel broke out between Leo the lion cub and Dandy the deer. They argued over a drinking spot, and the whole forest gathered around them, each animal choosing a side. Orwin was summoned and sat quietly as the two shouted. When they were done, he asked, "Did either of you notice the small bluebird nest crushed beneath your stomping hooves?" Both animals fell silent. Orwin walked slowly to the tiny nest, its eggs broken. "In your anger, you both forgot who else shares this forest," he said. This moment changed everything. From that day on, forest creatures learned to think beyond themselves. Later, a young rabbit named Milla came to Orwin weeping. Her mother had vanished during the night. Orwin listened, asked where she was last seen, and suggested she had gone near the human farms. Milla had never gone that far, so Orwin, despite his age, flew with her above the treetops. From the sky, he saw a small garden with a frightened rabbit inside a cage. With help from clever raccoons and fast squirrels, the animals distracted the humans and released Milla's mother, bringing her back safely. Milla cried with joy and hugged the owl's feathers. Orwin once again asked nothing in return. Word of his kindness spread further. But not all lessons came with happy endings. One winter, a young fox named Finn lied about a bear stealing honey from beehives. The bear, embarrassed and falsely accused, left the forest in shame. When Orwin found out, he visited Finn and asked, "Do you feel proud?" The fox looked down. "I wanted to be noticed," he whispered. Orwin replied gently, "Truth gives you friends, lies give you loneliness." The fox, realizing his mistake, apologized to the bear when spring returned. Slowly trust was rebuilt. The forest was not perfect, but the presence of Orwin kept it balanced. He never ruled, never shouted, never demanded, but his silence, his questions, and his quiet actions shaped lives more deeply than orders ever could. Years went by, and Orwin grew slower, sleeping more during the day and speaking even less. One day he climbed to the highest branch of his oak, looked over the forest, and hooted softly. That night, the stars above Whispering Woods seemed to shine brighter. In the morning, animals came looking for him, but his nest was empty. Orwin had vanished into the skies, leaving behind stories, memories, and lessons etched in every corner of the forest. The animals gathered and built a small stone circle at the base of his tree. They called it the Listening Circle, where young animals would come and sit, retelling Orwin's stories and asking each other questions the way he used to do. The forest had lost its owl but gained something greater, a culture of wisdom. Over time, even animals from faraway lands came to Whispering Woods to learn how to listen, how to think, and how to be kind. And all of it began with the quiet hoots of a wise old owl, who believed that the loudest wisdom is spoken in silence, and the deepest lessons come not from answers, but from the courage to ask the right questions. Moral of the story: wisdom is not in how much you speak, but in how well you listen, think, and understand. Patience, kindness, and quiet reflection make you truly wise. Thank you for listening to The Wise Old Owl, here on Fluent by Story. We hope this story helped you improve your English listening and speaking skills. Remember, just like the animals in the forest, learning happens when we listen carefully, ask questions, and stay kind. Practice speaking this story out loud, repeat it daily, and you'll become more fluent step by step. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring English stories.